Rockhopper here. Have you ever had a fantasy of just loading up your vehicle, hitting the road, and driving around your country for months at a time? I do it quite often, and I'm going to show you how. Want to learn how I live in and travel with an SUV? Grab a seat and find out. Even though I have a large house in Oregon, I'm actually much happier out here, or here, or here. When I feel my life's gone into the pit, a road trip in nature helped get me back in touch with what's real. Road trips and nature get me in touch with my soul. The call of the open road, it's almost a spiritual thing. Heading out into the big country, wide open spaces, nature, the beautiful drive ahead. It's like an alluring woman beckoning me, calling me, seducing me. You never know what you'll find out on the road. The mystique and the mystery. It's magic. There's always something to be discovered. Like this place. Or this place. Or this. Or this. 9 to 5's just a bunch of jive. I want to be out here where I can feel alive, not in some city where I have to survive. I want to be out here where my soul can thrive. I made a bumper sticker for the back of my car that says, "Adventure is my religion, nature is my church, the road is my," in quotes, "home." So I guess that puts me at home in the Holy Land. I've been doing adventures since the age of 18. When right after high school, I hopped on a 10-speed bicycle and pedaled it all the way from Pennsylvania to the coast of California. That was 3,200 miles in 2 months. Vulture Peak out there. Don't forget to watch my Vulture Peak hike video. I often leave Oregon in the winter and come south where the weather is better and it's better for filming because it is definitely warmer down here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day out here in the woods. Could you be? Would you be my neighbor? Hi, I'm Mr. Rockhopper, and I'm going to show you my neighborhood. Come on. This is my windproof, waterproof tent that I live in for months at a time. This here's our kitchen on the passenger side. Right here we have our food bins, and then we have our water here, and we'll have a little bottle of hydrogen peroxide for whatever you might need it for. Can you say that? Can you say hydrogen peroxide? This is the bedroom to the right, and over here to the left of it, we have our clothes closet. The socks and undies are here, and up here we have shirts and pants and jackets and a swimsuit. And to the left of that is our rec room. And over here we have an extension of the kitchen with our Coleman 2-burner stove and a small cooler type refrigerator that plugs in to the cigarette lighter with an extension of the recreation room. And in here is my box of maps. I do have a GPS, but I really like maps. A GPS is for finding a destination. A map is for finding a journey. This is my dining room here. I eat my pot of whatever while I'm listening to the radio. And right out here, this is my living room. It's very large. My living room decor is all natural. Not far from a bumper is our neighbor, Rattel Snake. He's a very quiet neighbor, but he does tend to get a bit pissy if you disturb him. I like Rattel. He keeps the mice away. They make real bad neighbors because they move in when I'm not looking, eat all my food, poop all over the place, and they don't even pay any rent. Does that sound like any renters you might know of? There's another neighbor. She's very pretty. She comes and visits in the morning sometimes. She has beautiful eyes, doesn't she? There's another one of our neighbors, Mr. Leopard Lizard. He knows how to keep the smaller lizards quiet and under control. He eats them. Good morning, Mr. Whippy. There's our other neighbor, Mr. Whippy the Whiptail Lizard. And there's his wife, Mrs. Whippy. There's another one of our neighbors, the dove. There's our neighbor, Miss Skink. What'd you call me, sucker? I said skink with an I. There's our neighbor, Mr. Burrow. Good morning, Mr. Burrow. He's a good fellow. He snorts a bit when he's nervous, though. Okay. See you later, Mr. Burrow. My neighborhood is full of activity. That's Lenny the Lizard. I think Lenny must suffer from Tourette's the way he's always twitching like that. That's a tarantula hawk wasp on the prowl looking for a tarantula. They sting and paralyze the tarantula, then lay their eggs on it, and when the larvae hatch, they eat the still alive tarantula. It's pretty gruesome. When I found my campsite at the end of the day, it's pretty easy getting the bed ready. But first, I gotta take out the mountain bike. And after that, it's pretty simple. I just flick this big foam pad down right here, and it's on top of a thermarest. Let me give you a closer view. I have this thing pretty well insulated in here, so let's go down through the layers. Okay, so there's the start of the car right there. So I've got this, like foam, insulated foam here. On top of that, I have some more insulative foam. That's basically that stuff that they put under carpets, that insulation foam. On top of that, I have a thermarest that I blow up. And then I just flick the foam pad down, which is about 4 inches thick, and I have a very nice, comfortable bed. Very nice. Why so much insulation? Well, I have traveled in the winter and I have woken up to single-digit temperatures inside the car, so you want as much insulation as possible to stay warm. There was a seat here in the back, but I took it out so that I could have the bed in here and sleep in the back. So when I've got the foam pad down, I just throw down the pillow here and get my sleeping bag out and lay it on top of the foam pad, and I'm good to go. To sleep, that is. I sleep way better in my car parked out in the middle of nowhere than I do in my own house. Right here on the passenger side, this is where I keep the food. So I've got your kind of everyday item food things in here. At the top, easy access. Below that, got the dinner bin. And I also have one more. This is the snacky storage bin. Snacks and such. Do you know why I like to store food in the bins? There are a couple of reasons why I like to keep things in bins. One is, if you compartmentalize things, it makes the access a bit easier. Easier to find things. Another reason is, if a mouse gets in your car, which does happen out here, comes up through the engine compartment, finds his way inside, yeah. If he finds food, you're never gonna get rid of him. So he can't get to the food if it's all snapped tight in here. Every once in a while, I do get a mouse that finds his way inside the car. And if they find food, like I say, you'll never get rid of them. They come in night after night looking around for more food, and that's really the only thing they're looking for. So they want to get into these bins, right? Well, I actually help them get in these bins after I've gotten the food out, and I create a catch-'em-alive mousetrap out of these bins. I might even show you in a separate video how to do that. So if you guys want to know how to make a catch 'em alive trap out of a bin, write me down in the comments. Let me know. And if you like what I'm showing you so far about how to live in an SUV, hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can be informed every time I upload a new video. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make you an offer you can refuse. I'm gonna issue you guys a challenge. Rockhoppers, you should accept the challenge, for if you succeed, there is great benefit. If I can get 100 or more total subscribers within 60 days of posting this video, I will make both the how to make a catch 'em alive trap video and the 10 best fire starters in the West video, so you can start fires even in wet or windy conditions. So there you go, the 100 subscriber challenge. Are you guys up for the task? Pump it up, Rockhopper! You can do it! Right now, it's time to get a fire going so we can get dinner on. I think I'll have some spaghetti tonight. When you are camping, pasta is so nice. It is very simple. It's nice to have when you die, out in the wilderness. When you are camping, it's very easy to make. You just boil the water and you put the pasta inside, yeah. And then you just put the spaghetti sauce on top of the pasta and you're good to go. My philosophy is this one, simple is good. When the pasta is cooked, then you just pour the sauce on there and mix it up, and presto, you have a nice fast dinner. If you are what you eat, I am a cheap, fast, and easy. It's a warm evening, so I'm gonna open this up here and put up my screen here. It's got little magnets on it that stick to the car body. I just put my little screen up here and keep out the insects and get some nice cool air in the evening. Flies are in crazy abundance here. They're getting to be really aggravating. Some insect repellent is good to have out here. It's not all wonderful and fun out here all the time, but it does get really beautiful. Good morning. Another beautiful day. Let's have a look outside. If I'm in the desert in the warmer months, I'll just drop my shoes outside the car there and wait to see if I hear the sound of a rattle from a rattlesnake. Never know when you might find a rattlesnake underneath the car. Maybe looking for some shade. I want to get this little baby rattlesnake on his way, and I don't want him to get hurt or run over. And as you can see, there's no sticks out here, so I'm going to take the tripod and try and nudge him. Alright, little buddy. Okay, there you are. Come on, little bud. You gotta get going. I don't wanna. Come on. Here you go. Come on. No, come on. Don't get under the tire. Just go. Come on, little buddy. Hey, come on. Come on back out in the sun. There you go. Come on. No. Don't go in the... No. Come on. I know you want the shade, but you gotta get moving. Okay, go. Go. Find a rock or something. There you go. Sorry. I usually start my day off rather simply with a nice easy breakfast, like some dried fruit, got some dried mangoes there, or an energy bar or 2 or 3, some nuts, or I can even have something else like chocolate. Yeah, that's right. I can eat whatever I want. And kids, when you get older and you get your own car, you too can eat chocolate for breakfast. I'm not recommending you do that, but you can. Oftentimes, though, I'll have fresh fruit like bananas, apples, citrus fruits, oranges, tangerines. All of those travel well, with the exception of bananas, which I only get as much as I can eat in a couple of days. Today's breakfast is fresh baked banana bread. Yum! There are a few vegetables that travel well, like onions. I generally like to have the packets of baby carrots. Potatoes, they travel okay. Just don't lose one of them somewhere in some obscure place in your car, because it's going to smell like something died in there. Yeah, once that potato goes rotten in there, it can be really nasty. I'll show you how I shave with my electric razor. So I'll take the inverter right here and plug it into the cigarette lighter right up here, and then I plug in the razor, take that ignition key and crank that to the first notch, and I'll start shaving away. Good to go. You can charge most anything with this inverter. You've got two USB ports here for charging your phone and camera and such, and over here you've got a 3-prong plug-in. It's morning, so the humidity is a bit higher. Right now we're at about 22 degrees. But last night it was at 8%. And you know what that means? It means that the car makes a great dehydrator. That's right, this was a baby carrot. And now it is a dehydrated baby carrot. Yeah, you can actually dehydrate fruits and vegetables in your car in the desert. Well, a lot of you are probably wondering, how do I go to the bathroom when I'm in the middle of nowhere? Well, I'll show you, but not in too much detail. I don't want to give you TMI. Grab your paper and grab your matches and come along. Find a suitable private location out in the wilderness, in this case a dry wash in the desert. Dig your little hole about 4 to 6 inches deep or so and do your business. That meal was a bit rough last night. That's some serious constipation. And then cover it all up, bury it nicely. Your TP may be a bit bunched up, so just grab it by the edge and kind of shake it out so it'll burn effectively, and then you just take your match and light it on fire. I burn my TP to make sure there's no evidence of my presence. Just make sure you don't create a brush fire in the process or burn down the woods. I have heard that if you're in the desert, it's just as well not to bury it, because the coyotes will just dig it up anyway. That just shows how inefficient our digestive tracts are at assimilating nutrients. If another animal can come along and survive off something after it's passed through us. And I have noticed that coyotes do tend to dig it up in the desert. Coyotes must have incredible digestive systems if they can consume something that's passed through you and get enough nutrition to live off it. So let's say you've been camped out for a while and you want to wash your hair. If you're up in the Pacific Northwest or some other region like that, no problem, there's water everywhere. But what if you're camped out here in the desert? Different story. Yeah, you can use your drinking water for bathing and washing your hair, but then you've got a whole lot less drinking water. So out here in the desert, you've got to be a little more creative in finding water sources. I biked out to this tank here, and we've got water, and lots of it. So I brought along a half-gallon jug. I can fill it up and then pour it over my head, or I can just stick my head right under here, of course. If there's enough room, fill up that jug, pour it over your head, lather it up, rinse off, and you're good to go. You can't drink this water, as you can see, but it is fine for bathing. And if you do use a river or a creek, remember to go far enough away from it when you rinse the soapy water off of yourself so that you don't contaminate the water. It can get pretty darn hot out here sometimes. So I bring along an extra large blanket that I can drape over the car, keep it a little bit cool, and find some shade inside. I have an unexpected housemate. Right there. So we've got to take that little guy right outside, because I don't want that thing crawling over me at night. We got our little friend out. Easier said than done. Now let me show you a few more things. If you have a vehicle that gets good mileage, that means you'll save money, and you can use that money for something else in your travels. Like vehicle repair. They say if you put the hood up, it prevents mice and pack rats and such from getting into your engine compartment and into your car. I don't know how true that is. I had a pack rat get in last night. I did have the hood down, but I opened it up just a few minutes after I heard him roaming around. Houston, we have a problem. That pack rat that got in there, he may have been gnawing on the edge of the serpentine belt, possibly. And it's kind of shredding here. I did my darndest to get rid of him, blasted the stereo, banged on the side of the car, but he decided he was going to hang out for a few hours. So I've got to take it into the shop and get this serpentine belt, and you can see it's kind of already worn off a bit there. I got to get that replaced. All right, well, we'll see how much this is all going to be and what's going on with the car. Well, I got the belt changed, and if you look closely on there, you can see it's all torn and shredded along the edge, and that's where I thought the pack rat was eating it away. But then I had a closer look inside, and I found something else. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like there's some blood down in there. So maybe that's why the belt went bad, is because Mr. Pack Rat got caught up in it. And that was the end of him. Getting this belt change turned out to be an all-day event. Not because it took all day, but because there was a guy ahead of me, and he wanted a whole lot of stuff done on his car. So I pretty much sat there for 5 hours to get a 1-hour job done. So there's the new serpentine belt right there. So I'm good to go now. That was one very expensive pack rat. But my car is generally considered more reliable, and that means money saved on maintenance and repairs. It's a bit warm today at 101, so we're making a move to cooler pastures. And the highway is wide open. The Palo Verde trees are in full bloom. But first we're going to go through the hotter country to get through to the cooler country. Up to 104. It's not even a hot day in Arizona. The temperature just keeps climbing. Okay, looking a little warm there at 109. Well, that kind of says it right there, doesn't it? Yeah, it is a little bit warm out here. When it gets real hot, you've got a few choices. You can head north, go to higher elevation, or you can go swimming! Woo! That's better. One advantage to having an SUV as opposed to having an RV or a fifth wheel or something pulling a trailer is that if there's a road going up to the top of that mountain, I can take it in my four-wheel drive SUV, and once I get to the top, I can just think, hey, I'd like to camp here, and that's what I might just do. But if you've got an RV or a fifth wheel, you can
forget about it. There ain't no way you're gonna get to the top of that. Are you kidding me? Even if you did get to the top of that, there ain't no way you're gonna get back down. I mean, who are you kidding? You're not gonna get back down that thing. Not in one piece, anyway. So, advantage in accessibility and the ability to roam goes to SUV.
One of the things I like best is when it's just me and my SUV. I can go pretty much anywhere I want. A disadvantage to having an SUV is it is smaller, and when things get jostled around inside the car, they can be hard to find. You might spend 20 minutes looking for something. Now, where did my toothbrush go this time? Hey, look. A cracker. Because the car is small and crammed with stuff, you can't pick up beautiful hitchhikers. Dang! No room! The smaller the vehicle, the less carrying capacity you'll have, and the less stuff you'll be able to take along. There just isn't a compartment for everything. And sometimes the sleeping quarters seem just a little bit cramped. Advantage goes to RVs, fifth wheels, trailers, and sprinter vans on that one. That's interesting because they just had a rattlesnake right there. You can see him. He's right there. And he just came from underneath the tarp there that I was laying my stuff on and sorting out a few things. Yeah, that rattlesnake just snuck in there while I was getting a few things in and out of the car, I guess. Even though I've made several fires in wet and or windy conditions, sometimes I just can't be bothered, so I'll just stay in the car and use this. A double burner Coleman stove that connects to this. A propane bottle. I have tape, duct tape, needle and thread, scissors, in case I need to make repairs on something. I also have glue as well. As far as laundry goes, you can do your clothes about once a month at a laundromat if you want. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, bring along this little plastic tub and wash your clothes in it. I don't mean wash all your clothes, but you might want to wash just a few things, just enough to get by. And you can use your car antenna and windshield wipers as sock dryers. Lunch might consist of something simple like tuna or sardines and hot sauce. I tend to have a lot of snacky type foods, things that are simple and quick and easy to make, like cheese and crackers, might have some chocolate, potato chips, whatever. Down low in the front part of the car is where I like to store things that need to be kept cool, because that's where the coolest part of the car usually is. That is, if I'm not using this, but this only works while the car is running. Dinners tend to consist of things like spaghetti with sauce, flavored rice packets, there's an onion in there, just whatever's fairly simple and easy to make for dinner. Always like having a hot meal at the end of the day. I tend to get foods that don't go bad quickly. I like to travel with a 5-gallon jug of water. At least 5 gallons. You may want to carry more, especially if you have more people with you. You may want to bring some type of pole. If you're a hiker, a trekking pole. If you like to fish, a fishing pole. I like to carry a variety of clothes, even if it's summertime, because if you're up in the high elevations, it can still get pretty darn cold at night. So I've got everything from wool socks and a down jacket to lightweight stuff for lower elevations in the desert, like t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops. In the summer, I like to bring my swimsuit. Now, where was that lake? I also carry a rain jacket. That can come in real handy if you're going to a place like the Pacific Northwest. It's good to have some paper towels, and don't forget to bring at least a couple rolls of toilet paper. You might wonder, how do I power things up if I'm camped out in the wilderness for, say, a week at a time? Well, I have this solar panel, and it charges my phone, my camera, and a few other items. And I love it. And it's foldable. Folds up very nicely into this compact little case. That's Kaylani, my travel girl. She's always so happy to be out traveling and in the sun that she's always dancing. Looks like it's time to head off to the next place. Wherever that might be. And it might be Sedona, Arizona. And who knows after that, and then Eventually, maybe even the Pacific Northwest. So keep checking into Rockhopper Adventures and see where our next adventure will be. I hope you enjoyed learning how I live in and travel with my SUV. If you like this video, or you have more questions about it and how to live like this, please write me down in the comments. And don't forget to click that red subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed every time I upload a new video. Until next time, this is Rockhopper. I'll see ya.